Hello, my name is Jason Pierce, and what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how to take a standard small block Chevy cylinder head, and we're going to modify it and get it ready to put on a race engine. Now this cylinder head has been used for the last 70 years, and this cylinder head is very, very great. It's just when it comes out of the factory, it doesn't have much horsepower. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take this head completely apart. We're going to machine it. Now, first thing we do is we disassemble it. We're going to take the valve train and we're going to remove it. We're going to take everything apart. Everything needs to come apart and needs to be kept in order. We're going to go ahead and pull the head apart, take all the valves out, and we're going to set the head up, go through everything. We want to make sure that everything's there's no cracks. When we take this head apart, we need to remove the springs, the keepers, the retainers, and then we get it ready for the cleaning process. Now the cleaning process, what we need to do is we need to get all the old gaskets off. We need to scrape everything off so we can get it prepped for the cleaning hot tank. Now what this hot tank is going to do is it's going to start cleaning all the oil and carbon off. Then when all the oil and carbon come off, we can go ahead and glass bead it. That will take it down and make it look like a brand new head. The process of doing this is very crucial because what it does, it allows us to go in and check it for cracks. You do not want to have a cracked cylinder head, otherwise you cannot do this job. So the cleaning process is very important. You want to make sure everything's clean and prepped. Once it's ready and prepped, we're going to go ahead and start machining the valves. We're going to go ahead and start opening up the pockets. The valve seats need to be opened. The standard valve seat is 1.94. What we're going to do is we're going to open it up and make it a 2.02. That is on the intake. On the exhaust, it's a 1.5, and we're going to take it to a 1.6. What this does is it's bigger. It allows more fuel and air, which is going to create more horsepower. The more fuel and the more air you have, the more horsepower you will have. So what we're going to do is set the machine up, and we're going to take the valve seats and we're going to widen them and cut them. After we do that, we're going to go ahead and pull all the studs out. All these studs need to come out because they're too small to accommodate larger studs. We've got to have larger studs because we're going to have larger rocker arms. This is to accommodate a very large camshaft. A camshaft is what's going to pretty much give the engine a lot of its horsepower. So this needs to be pulled out. These need to come out, excuse me, and then what we need to do is rethread these so we could screw in big studs. And then the guide plates will go in here. Now, this will go ahead and strengthen the head. So it's very crucial that these come out, and it's very crucial that they're tapped and we get it set. Once that's done, we're ready to go ahead and adjust the valve spring height. This needs to be done properly or else the engine could blow up. If the spring is not at the correct pressure, the camshaft, when the engine turns, it will cause it to coil, bind, and break. So what we need to do is we need to measure it. After we measure it, we got to go ahead and put it in a machine and pressure it. In order to get the proper pressure, we need to use shims. So this machine will make everything test. Now, after that's done, we need to go ahead and start assembling it. We're going to go ahead and put the head together. Everything needs to be lubricated. We're going to take the valves, we're going to go ahead and put a grease on them and a lubricant so they don't seize, because if they go in there too tight, they can lock up. That'll cause the engine to seize and the engine to blow up. So we got to be very careful when we put this head together. We must assemble it properly, take our time, make sure everything's lubed, and we go ahead and spin the valve in. It helps the valve seat. We need the valve to seat, because once the valve seats, then you're going to go through and you're going to do a test. What it is it's a vacuum test. The valve has to seat properly. This will tell you if it's seating. If it's not seating properly, you're going to have to take it back apart and remachine it. You got to make sure that they have vacuum. If it doesn't have vacuum, it's going to allow the engine to blow compression. If the compression blows through, you're going to lose a lot of horsepower and your head's not going to accommodate a much larger racing engine. So you must vacuum test it and make sure that the vacuum is where it needs to be. It needs to be solid, otherwise the leaks will come. Once everything is solid, you're done. Your racing head has been assembled and it is ready to be put on your engine. Now the finished product, a beautiful engine. What you got now is an engine that has a set of cylinder heads that have been modified to run at about 700 horsepower. Now, typically maybe 500, depending on what you put, if you put a big, large piston in it. But what you're going to do is put everything together and you're going to run it. You can put it on a dyno and everything will work out just fine because you went through and made sure that the engine's tight, you made sure the head works, you made sure everything is working good and it's ready to go. So the good thing is we're done.